Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Kello Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. It is great to have all of you along. It's stuff is starting to fly. Kristi Noem demanded a 2-hour meeting with President Trump in the Oval Office late yesterday after she was elbowed aside over the backlash following the latest shooting in Minneapolis. Trump held the crisis talks with Noem, crisis talks, after he revealed that Tom Homan was headed to take charge of Homeland Security efforts in Minneapolis. Trying to see if there's anything. So apparently the decision to put Homan in charge of ICE operations sparked immediate questions about Trump's faith in Noem's handling of the ongoing immigration crackdown. Trump, however, did not suggest that Noem's job was on the line during the conversation. Separately, Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino and some of his agents were ordered yesterday to start retreating from Minnesota. They are leaving, in fact, today. Like Noem, Bovino, known for his no-holds-barred approach to immigration enforcement, was slammed for his claims that Preddy was, this is Alex Preddy, who was killed on Saturday, that he was brandishing a gun before he was shot by border agents. So Tricia McLaughlin, who's the assistant secretary at the Department of Homeland Security, said that Bovino has not been relieved of his duties. She said he's a key part of the president's team and a great American. So he is now in California. He has been reassigned to California to oversee efforts there. But Kristi Noem and the president involved in a 2-hour meeting in the Oval Office last night over this issue. Meanwhile, you've got Senator John Fetterman calling on the president to get rid of Noem. I made a direct appeal to immediately fire Secretary Noem. Yeah, the heat is being turned up on Kristi Noem here as a result of this. So Fetterman said Americans have died. She is betraying DHS's core mission and trashing your border security legacy. So he'd make a direct appeal to President Trump to fire Kristi Noem. Do not make the mistake President Biden made for not firing a grossly incompetent DHS secretary. So don't follow in Joe Biden's footsteps. Wow. This is Senator John Fetterman. So he said he will not force a government shutdown over funding disputes involving the Department of Homeland Security. Democrats are making that very much a big part now. They do not want to, not only do they not want to fund the Department of Homeland Security, they do not want to fund Customs and Border Protection. That is just like crazy. I'm used to craziness where the Democrats are concerned. It's just more bizarro world antics each and every day. There were a number of, we've got a Fox News. Celebrities make good on promises to leave the U.S. following Trump's return to the White House. Good riddance is all that I can say to those. Meanwhile, we've got the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, warning that any move by Canada to try to break economically from the United States would be a disaster. This is after Canada's Prime Minister, Mark Carney, was making overtures to China. And the president initially responding to this the other day, he said, remember the board of peace that the president formed recently? And shortly after the board was formed, he immediately said, oh, yeah, but Mark Carney, yeah, you're not a part of this. We don't want you as the board, as a member of the board of peace. And then following that, Trump said, okay, by the way, we're instituting, following Canada trying to cozy up to China. Trump said, all right, now we are implementing additional tariffs now against Canada. If this is the way you're going to play ball, if you are not going to respect your friends and your allies, then okay, then we're going to raise the tariff by 100. I think the president said 110%. Raise the tariffs against Carney and against Canada. And Carney then immediately folded shortly afterward, almost as soon as the president said it. He had some response, and then it wasn't very long after that he folded. But Bessent is following up on this about them making overtures to China. So Bessent says Canada depends on the U.S. There's not much more north-south trade than there could ever be east-west trade, he told Sean Hannity last night. Carney talks about middle countries having to do their own thing. I'm old enough to remember when French President Mitterrand tried to go down that route. It failed in the 80s. It'll fail now, he said. He said Carney should focus less on pushing a globalist agenda and instead do what's best for the Canadian people. That whole globalist agenda thing blows my mind. You have people that they're in pursuit of this globalist agenda rather than what's best for their countries. I understand when you have somebody from a country and they are genuinely feel like they are pursuing what's best for their nation. You know, that's one thing. We could maybe have disagreements. But the globalist agenda, the life of me, I can't figure that out. But Carney said that Canada's recent agreement with China only rolled back tariffs in sectors that have been hit in recent years, and it did not amount to free trade. He says Carney aggressively walked back some of his remarks during a conversation with Trump in the Oval Office on Monday. So isn't it amazing? You know, they say these things and the president calls them on it, and then they spend time. Is that what no. Is that what you understood? That's not what I meant. That's not what I said. What I really meant to say was this. Yeah, it's the same old thing played over and over again. Oh, yeah. Celebrities cite Trump re-election victory in their move out of the U.S. I don't even want to share their names. I really don't care. You want to leave the country, by all means, fine. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's not the way I feel about the United States. I don't understand this. People, even when Joe Biden was president, I think, as disturbing as some things were, I ever threaten, I'm going to leave the U.S. I can't take this. I've got to leave the United States. Where does that come from? I don't even understand that kind of thinking. If you love the country, is I think what that illustrates to me is a love of self, not a love of country. Because, there are certain things, the country, I think at times, and John F. Kennedy said it, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Democrats have moved so far away from that kind of thinking because I think John F. Kennedy was absolutely right. Don't ask what your country can do for you. But that's the Democrat Party today. That's all they are. What can the country do for me? How can we build the country out of billions of dollars as was done in Minnesota? You know, that for the life of me, it just makes no sense. So as I hear these people, they're going to leave the country, I'm like, fine, get the hell out and don't come back. Please do not come back. It's just tiring to me. I think Hollywood has become such a joke. James Woods, I was on X. There were a few comments on X that caught my attention. And I love actor James Woods and the guy, the things that he says. And I totally agree with him on this. I'm not saying I love him because I agree with him. I happen to agree with him in this case. He says, the orchestrated insurrection of the Somali crime hotbed of Minneapolis, aided and abetted by politicians and their media handmaidens, is just a smoke and mirrors distraction. It's really about the billions of dollars of Democrat fraud, not ICE, not Trump, fraud. That's all. That's actor James Woods on X. And he is, I think, spot on that. Representative Anna Paulina Luna had a post on X that caught my attention. I want to be crystal clear, she says. If any individual, particularly elected officials or otherwise, helped plan, fund, coordinate, or cover up the violent insurrection happening now in Minneapolis, they should lawyer up now, capital letters, lawyer up now, because investigators are going to follow the facts wherever they lead. Violence, obstruction, collusion, and corruption from anyone will be met with the full weight of the law. And as a member of Congress, I'm willing to do everything in my authority to enforce that. I think she is spot on. I love that comment because I think she is just absolutely spot on in her reaction. In her reaction to that. It was also the DOJ announced yesterday. What we're talking about fraud. DOJ announced they had charged 31 people in connection with a multi-million-dollar ATM jackpotting scheme linked to Tren de Aragua. 56 others have already been charged. Latest round of indictments brings the total number of defendants in the case to 87. Federal authorities working to dismantle a financial pipeline used to fund Tren de Aragua. If you're not familiar with them, you should be. They're a gang from Venezuela. So 87 people now charged. It's just absolutely incredible. Oh, and there's a TikToker who's making the news. A librarian in West Virginia has been arrested for trying to recruit people on social media to, off President Trump. 39-year-old woman busted over a TikTok video saying, surely a sniper with a terminal illness can't be a big ask out of 343 million. Speaking of illness, I think she's got mental illness. So she claimed she had no intention to personally carry out the threat. Deputies said such statements are designed to encourage, inspire, or entice others to carry out the threatened act, regardless of whether the speaker publicly intended to do so or not. So when you say things like, who would have ever thought that words actually matter, that words have consequences? This is one of the reasons why, even though TikTok now final deal being struck and TikTok setting up shop. It will be the TikTok in US. And I think I've even commented to you, maybe I would go on TikTok now that it's a US company, and you don't have to worry about the Chinese are out, and so a brand that's coming into the US, so on. And then I see just incredibly inane, stupid stuff like that, and I think I've got better ways to spend my time and my effort to go to other places rather than TikTok. Wow. That to me is just absolutely crazy. I was taking a look at our YouTube subscribers. What are we up to right now? We are over 550. We're at 551. 551 subscribers on YouTube. I'm going to make my daily plea, please. Hoping the Greg Belfrage Show will continue on YouTube and on Facebook. One of the ways you can do that is to like it and to share it. If you appreciate the job I'm doing, and I know some of you do, and I'm very grateful for that, I can't thank you enough, honestly. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're a YouTuber, please subscribe. Even if you never watch another video, please subscribe. I would, because after a while it begins to feed on itself, and I'm nowhere near that point yet. So I still need your help. If you're not a subscriber on YouTube, please consider becoming one. All right, you have made it to the end of the video, so you are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute for the Bunker Brigade. Those are the folks that are in the fourth hour bunker on YouTube. Each and every morning they're slugging it out. I appreciate all of you. So until tomorrow, my friend, I'm underground and gone.